So I I had exercise writing or something like that. So I can write that and listen to the thing that I was listening tomorrow. I told that I will start from here tomorrow. So I guess I could start that now.
In Jannah of things that I've never heard of or not even got a tease of or nothing, why would I be interested? I really want to go to Jannah? It has, now Allah says it has rivers. If I had never seen a river, what do I care about it? What's a river anyway? It has beautiful trees. What's a tree? Those words that Allah used. What am I, even though the ones in Jannah.
By the way, I'm listening this in like 1.6 speed. You can slow up the speed in your video. So, I guess you get the point.
Incomparable. The fact that Allah put the same exact things on this earth. He did that so we would remember by looking at this earth that there's a much better home waiting for you. This is just the trailer. The full feature is later. That was the purpose of this earth. That's why He didn't put you here as a curse. He put you here to remind you, carry your responsibilities well, and even this place will become wonderful for you. And if you do, you will have the best of this and the best of the next. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. That's the legacy of humanity. That was the gift Allah Azza wa Jal gave. That's why in Surah Al-A'raf He says, وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشْ. He put in this world for you means of living well. He provided luxuries for you here. He did that for a reason. This is most certainly not a curse. That's the second concept I wanted to get across to you. We are not a cursed creation. Then the next problem, and this is where I want to share some things from Professor Jeffrey Lang's lecture. Fascinating lecture. I'm just blown away by the man. Completely just mesmerized by this talk. He was raised in a difficult home. His mom was a wonderful lady. She was a nurse. She used to do extra hours at the hospital. Everybody loved her. Every time he went to pick her up from the hospital, the patients would sing her praises and say, "Your mother's a saint." And when she passed away, literally people kept coming at the funeral telling him a story about the goodness of his mother. Just a really wonderful.
Wow, I'm using Bangla, lol. So, like, that is a really positive thing. Like, you are not. This world is really too hard. Really, too much hardness is in here, and but because of all the hardness, sometimes we like overlook the things that are good or something. So really, that's a great thing to remember that this world is a like reflection of the heaven and the hell at the same time. This world is a trial of heaven and hell at the same time. So yeah, that's a very great thing to remember. Like many times in our hardships, because of our hardships, we just mainly overlook the fact that this world is have some good in it. Also, this world is also a reflection of the heaven. So yeah, that's a great point to remember all the time.
Human being. Very source of great positive influence in his life for he and his brothers, right? And his father was an alcoholic. He was abusive. He used to beat him. He used to beat his wife on a regular basis. Curse, and he's never heard his mother curse, not once. And he used to beat him, beat the mother, and he was a very abusive man. And by the age of 16, he just couldn't figure this out. And he was raised, Catholic, and he's like raised in a faith, and his mom was a strong believer and everything. But he said, what kind of God lets this happen? What has she ever done to deserve this? What have I ever done to deserve this kind of beating all the time? And he kept praying to God to make his situation better. But did the situation get better? No. And you keep praying as a child and your prayers don't get answered, what's going to happen? Is there even anybody listening? There can't be a God. I mean, if there was, why would this be happening? So he lost his entire faith in humanity because he said, if there really was a God, why even make us? Why not just make us all good? Why let all this evil happen? Why people get? And then he said, his teens were spent in the 60s and the 70s, and so there are race riots, there are gang fights. Some he was even a part of, and there's the impeachment of a president.
To be honest, Muslim Central, they like choose this picture of Noman Ali Khan, in this picture, he's he don't know that he's taking a picture or something. It's like kind of that. His mouth is kind of open and he's not looking into the camera. I don't know why Muslim Central choose this picture to be his profile picture of his audios. Like, this picture is kind of funny, but I don't know. I just wanted to tell that. I don't know why.
assassination of a president in front of this. The world is in chaos. And, Vietnam is going on, and, napalm is being thrown, and children are burning alive in Vietnam. What have they ever done to burn alive? And he's seeing all of this evil, and it only reinforces in him the world is far too corrupt, too evil, too obsessed with the shedding of blood and doing wrong to one another for this to be the product of a merciful, loving God. That just doesn't make any sense to me. He couldn't reconcile those two things. Many years later, he's 27, 28 years old. Somebody gives him a copy of Quran as a present. Never reads it. One day he's sitting at home, and he's bored. He ran out of things to read, so he opens up the Quran and starts reading. From Fatiha. He's reading. He gets to Baqarah. And he's been to Catholic school. He's been to Sunday school. He understands the story the way I told you before. And he reads it, and he goes, the author, he doesn't know it's God, right? So he goes, the author must have got it wrong. What's he saying? I think the author missed the point. The point was we're sent here as a curse. But he starts off with Khalifa as an emissary, as someone to represent God's will, to do good on the earth. What? This is not a happy story. Why is this a happy story here? I don't get it. And he thought the author was confused. So he read the story in translation over again, and then over again. He says 20, 30 times, he kept reading the same story, and he kept finding things that kept messing with him. And he says, God says he's going to put this creature on the earth, and the angel said what? What the Quran says. What does the angel say? He's going to cause corruption and spill blood. And Professor Lang says, exactly! That's what I would have said. Why? Because that's what surrounded him, right? So he's looking at this and saying,
So he just got the direct answer of his question. So when he was reading, like, he was questioning it for the whole time, and the questions are, and another book just directly questions that. But in the Quran, this was in the context that was like question to the God. Now he is like super curious to know the answer. He will be like, for something I said to him.
wow, the angels are onto something in this book. The author is retelling the story. I guess he's got the same issues I do. Because the angels are asking, why did you even do this? Why would you do this? And, when they said, we declare your perfection. Look, why not just make us all angels? Why do you even have to make an earth? Heaven's already there. Just make more angels. If you really want to do something, this is working fine. Why do you have to make this messy creature who's gonna... And then God comes around and says, I know what you don't. I know what you don't know. He's like, what does God know that? I don't know. And he says, as I used to read this over and over, I used to actually start having conversations with the author, still being an atheist. What do you know?
What do you know?
That I don't know. Please tell me, because all my life I haven't known.
I haven't known.
I'd like to know. And then the Quran's answer,
to be honest, like, I really love Nouman Ali Khan's lectures because they are he have a great sense of humor. He like makes the things funny, and sometimes like engaging these stuff. Like, it's kind of entertainment for me to listen to his lectures. I don't watch that much TV or something. I don't like sports. I have quitted gaming. To be honest, I have given a good portion of my time or of my years to gaming and wasted all of those. But to be honest, now I like that, that these lectures are kind of entertaining for me. That's a really great blessing for me, because or else I would just spend time here and there, and I really feel good spending time here. Not much of my friends like to like listen to these types of audios or something. They feel bored for this, but I feel entertaining, so that's a great blessing for me, and alhamdulillah for that. So yeah, it's great.
taught Adam the names of all things, and then he presented them before the angels. I'm summarizing, we're going to go into depth later on, but I'm giving you the overview now, right? So he taught him the names of all things, and he presented Adam before the angels, and said, tell me the names of these things and these people. He said, we can't, we have no knowledge of this. And then he asks Adam, he threw the names out without a problem. Apparently, God said, yes, human beings may be capable of corruption, bloodshed, but I'm going to give the human being something that you don't have, angels don't have. I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him, and he's going to learn, and he's going to have knowledge, and this knowledge is going to liberate him. And he's going to be capable of amazing things because of this first thing that Allah is mentioning, which is what? Knowledge, his intellect, his inquiry, his ability to discover on this earth. And even by this point, the professor's like, we're just supposed to believe and not question. And you can't learn if you don't what? If you don't question, if you don't investigate. The human being is awesome because he's a learner? Really? And that's the secret? Allah knows what you don't, you don't know what the angels don't know, and that's part of that secret is his knowledge, the ability for the human being to learn with the pen, to pass knowledge down, to inquire, to investigate. And then he says, as he's reading even more, what he found fascinating was, what did Allah say to Adam alayhi salam? Here, live with your spouse in Jannah. Don't go near. Don't go near this tree. There's no fiery security guard standing next to the tree. There's no mention of the tree of good and evil that you shall. It's just a tree. Just a tree. And our Mufassirun are baffled. What kind of tree was it? I wonder if it was pineapple or, if Allah wanted you to know, what would he have done? All he wanted to tell you is it's a tree. Good enough. Doesn't seem like a huge deal. Just look, it's a prohibition. It's a test, that's all. I just don't want you to go near this tree. That's it. Don't overthink it. And if you do, you'll be among those who do wrong. And there's not, you're going to be the ones who do wrong if you do so. It's not, I'm going to burn you, you're going to suffer, you're going to be punished, I shall curse you. And there's nothing. He's like, this God is not angry. Why isn't he mad? He's reading this, he's like, why isn't this God, this God is supposed to put the fear of hell into to Adam to not go near this tree.
Too much sound of construction. Like really, why? I can't hear at all the sounds. Too much sound now. Oh. Okay, and it stopped.
Like, hey, there's a tree. Can you stay away from that one? He seems pretty chill about the whole thing. And then when the angel, when the devil finally does whisper, he doesn't whisper to him, he whispers to both. And what does he say? Azallahuma. He caused them to slip. So the professor says, I couldn't believe it. The biggest mistake made in human history, for which we are cursed on this planet. And this book calls it a slip. A slip is, I accidentally wore your shoes out of the masjid.
Like, really, to be honest, from this whole lecture, I mainly found the most disturbing part is that, the Christian Jews thinks that women are cursed, and they are cursed by God because the wife of Adam falls into the trap of Satan. That's why the whole women are cursed, and that's why they go through the pains and etc. And that's why they will be slave type of men. What kind of rubbish is that? Really, that was the most disturbing part for me. Okay, the construction sound again started, and I don't like that at all. And I don't know what to do now. And I guess I should just try to listen.
That's a slip. This is a slip? This is not a slip. This must be a bad translation. So he says, it's so cute. He says, I found my Arabian friends. Could you translate this word for me? And so, Azallahuma shaitan caused them to what? What's that word? Slip? Slip? Really? He couldn't handle it. Because this was such a big deal in the biblical account. And the Quran, all shaitan is able to do is make the human being what? Slip. But if you compare this to other sins, what sins were the angels worried about? What are the angels worried about? Adam's going to eat from a fruit, They're worried about the spilling of blood, the causing of corruption, mass murder, genocide, rape, all kinds of things happen on this earth. Compare them to the eating of a tree, eating of a fruit. It is, at the end of the day, from any measure of human intellect, it looks like a slip. It's a slip. So it's accurately described as shaitan successful in causing them to slip. And by the way, the idea of a slip is, once you slip, you what? You fall. In other words, the slip is the first part of a series of unfortunate events.
Wait, I paused because my mother called me, and now I'm eating biscuit and I'm listening to this, I guess.
They keep falling, right? The idea is the first time you disobey Allah, maybe something small, but it leads you down a path. You keep on falling. You keep on descending. And it's interesting that the word azalla was used, and then ihbitu, descend, is used later on. Because when you slip, you do descend. So there's a literary connection there too. But anyway, so Allah tests them, and he slips, and they mess up. Now he's like, now the cursing is going to be. Now the woman and her womb. Now the punishment of hell. Now the cursed life on earth. You shall toil, and you shall suffer, and all of it. And Allah Azza wa Jalla just says, descend from here. Come down from here. You're going to be enemies to each other. Who's he talking to? He's talking to Adam and Iblis. Adam and Hawa being enemies to who? Iblis. He came to you as a friend. He convinced you to eat from that tree, pretending to be your friend. But the reality is...
Okay. Again, my mom called me. That's why I paused.
When you live here, now you know you are going to be what? Enemies to each other. But he will always come to you not as an enemy. He will always come to you as a friend. So watch out now that you know. And then he says, okay, now the next part, okay, fine, we're going to be enemies to each other, great. Now how horrible is the life on the earth going to be? وَلَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُسْتَقَرٌ. You're going to have a place to relax on the earth, to stay in ease. وَمَتَاعٌ إِلَى حِينٍ. You're going to have provision and things to enjoy until a limited time. For a temporary while, you'll have to stay here. Does that sound like a curse? Does it sound like a punishment? He was so underwhelmed, like, where's the epic anger? It disappeared. Okay, at least in the next verse or something, he's going to say, then God showed him what's really up, and showed him the consequences of his deeds. The next words are, فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. Adam alayhi salam came into contact with words from his master, and Allah turned.
He just like search for the epic anger, like searching in pages, pages after pages.
And he turned back to Allah, he repented to Allah, and Allah accepts repentance all the time, it's all good, it's okay, you slipped, now you can move on with your life. You don't live in sin, you're not cursed, humanity's not descending into evil, and none of it. فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. Subhanallah. But Adam alayhi salam used to live where? In Jannah. Now where is he? On earth. On earth there are emotions Adam has never felt before. There's fear on the earth. There's sadness on the earth. There's pain on the earth. None of these experiences exist where? In Jannah. There's hunger on the earth, fear on the earth, sadness on the earth. There's concern on the earth. There's stress on the earth. There are all these negative emotions. So Adam alayhi salam is terrified. And Allah is terrified. How are we going to live here? It is difficult. And so what does Allah do? Well, come down. But you know what? I'll give you how to manage your life here. فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى فَمَن تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Listen, come on this earth altogether. Fine, descend here. But whenever I send you any guidance, whoever follows it, they won't have to experience any fear, and they're not going to be sad. The two major emotions that run humanity into the ground are fear and sadness. Let me tell you, these are the two root, negative emotions in the entire human experience. Why do animals attack? Sometimes they attack out of fear, right? Sometimes war happened, they say preemptive war. You know what that means? One nation was afraid that the other nation was
Like it's kind of lol. I'm eating biscuit and licking like a kid, and having the chocolate out of the biscuit. Lol. But to be honest, like as all, I also enjoy that doing. So I sometimes kind of like being childish is not bad or something, and I sometimes be like that. So yeah, and in the audio we were in the part that describes the some of the most important things. Listen it carefully.
attack, so they attack ahead of time. We were afraid they might do something. Fear will make a person do crazy things. There's a fear of poverty, or the fear of bankruptcy might make someone take up a haram job. Fear is a powerful motivator for a lot of evil in the world. On the flip side is what emotion? Sadness. Now, fear, by the way, is always related to the future, and sadness related to the past. And the past, the sadness of the past, when you're first thing it does is it makes you lose hope. And when you lose hope, then you become a source of hopelessness for the people around you. And when sadness grows inside you, it turns into anger and rage also. And when people are angry and vengeful, then all kinds of evil comes from it. Sadness is actually the root cause of a lot of evil on the earth. So is fear. Allah says, I'll give you a manual, it will help you manage your fear, and it will help you manage your sadness. And that's how you'll be able to navigate this temporary existence on the earth, then you can come back home. Then you can come back to Jannah. Just live by this manual, this guidance for Allah. SubhanAllah. It's a completely different account from what the world had known. It gives a completely different picture to what the world had known. In these few minutes I have left, I do want to share one more overview concept with you, and then inshallah from tomorrow on, we get into this just absolutely remarkably beautiful ayat. The last concept I want to share with you, rather philosophical, some consider, they say the problem of suffering. The problem of suffering. In different philosophies, in different worldviews, suffering is looked at differently. Like there are certain philosophies in which suffering, you can only overcome it by meditation. And if you meditate enough, then you will no longer feel pain. And you'll hover in the air and all kinds of stuff, right? Others say, well, suffering is...
Okay, now I'm back. And the construction work is going on, and the sounds, and I can't do anything about that.
It's about suffering, so just accept it, Or suffering exists because of your sins. It's something you did, and as a result, you have suffering. But you and I both know there are plenty of people that suffer in this world for nothing they did. Children suffer. Their children have cancer. There are seniors that have been worshipping Allah their entire lives, and they're suffering from sickness. You're earning a decent living for your family, doing the right thing, and somebody else comes and rams their car into you. You're suffering. Not because of something you did. You were driving just fine. Suffering exists, and a lot of it is not because of what you did. So the question of it has always baffled humanity, and for a lot of people who don't believe in God, their number one problem is what? Is suffering. How does the Quran deal with the problem of suffering? The Quran actually tells humanity to embrace it. You were sent temporarily on this earth, and this world will in fact have suffering. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنْفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. We will absolutely test you. We will absolutely put you to the test with all kinds of suffering. You're going to feel hunger. Min al-khawf, you're going to feel terrified. You're going to feel hunger. You're going to see loss of children, loss of fruit, loss of the fruit of your labor. You're going to work hard and still not get paid sometimes. Your boss swallowed all the money. Your partner ran away with the money. All kinds of unfair things will happen to you in this world. This is the world that I've put you in. I didn't just put any creature on this earth. I put a Khalifa on this earth. These kinds of challenges, not any creation of Allah could handle. You are capable of handling them. You're capable of going through this difficulty and still coming out strong on the other end. These will all be, and you will be able to do so with your connection to Allah, your knowledge and your wisdom. That's how you're going to be able to navigate. This is what guidance will help you do. We are actually told in this religion not to run from suffering, but to actually embrace it. And to ask Allah to give us the strength to go through it. وَثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَنَا, make our feet firm. Help us pass through it. And then, there is khawf and ju' and, there's sadness. But on the other hand, this book, this word of Allah, this connection with Allah, it'll help you navigate through all of that sadness. It's a realistic look at life. There's no escape from suffering in the Quran. There's no escape from difficulty. Difficulty and challenges and tests will come. But then again, you're qualified to handle them. He would not have, no human being suffers any difficulty in this world, according to Allah Azza wa Jal, that they were not able to bear. If you were put through something, it's because you were capable of it. If you went through something, and as unfair as you and I might think it is, why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to suffer through this? It has a purpose. It has a purpose, and first and foremost, you had to go through it because you were the only one suited for it. You're the only one suited for it. There are some challenges in your life that I don't have. There are some challenges in my life that you don't have. The challenges in your life, Allah custom designed for you, because only you could have handled them. The challenges in my life, only Allah put for me, because only I could have handled them. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, if people can persevere through them, congratulations to them. Then they've passed the test. That's the remarkable accomplishment of the human being. I'm reminded of the story of Robert. Some of you are familiar, it became pretty viral back in the day, Robert de Villa, when I met with him and all of that. And Robert, sometimes I wonder about it, like completely paralyzed. What possibly could be the good in that? And the good is obvious. How many countless people are finding their way to guidance and becoming grateful to Allah just by watching a clip of Robert? Just by watching a clip. Like, he's doing more good, not moving a single limb of his body, than people that are, like, Olympic athletes couldn't do. They couldn't do that much good that he can do lying in a bed. SubhanAllah. Allah has his own design. Allah has his own purpose. And all of it is summed up so beautifully inside of the story. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who rely on Him, who understand the wisdom in the remarkable narrative of the Quran, and are able to enlighten the rest of the world with this beautiful guidance. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Hakim.
To be honest, like, really, this video is, I told that this is the best thing what I can listen in my sad times or in my depressed times, because like mainly the sad and depressed times comes because of the emotions that it shows, like fear and the sadness. Like sadness, yeah, I have wasted a great chunk of my time in the past, and yeah, it's gone in the past. And the future, I don't know what I will do in the future, because I don't have any great skill set or anything to tackle my future activities, and I don't have good grades or etc. And my studies are also not good. So yeah, I have also the fear and the sadness. So yeah, the like answer was really great, and I want to remember that. Like, I want to remind every time when I become sad depressed that I don't need to panic out, or that I don't need to quit, I don't need to suicide or anything, because there were like tests and I was chosen for this, and the tests are also like custom modified for me, especially for me. So that gives me a hope to go through the tests, go through the hardships and etc. So yeah, that's why I love this lecture. And yeah, like, this is the reason why people say like you have all the answers of the worldly problems in the Quran. Like, you don't have the problems like how will you sit, or how will you get more comfortable or something. Like, not the answers materially, but the like spiritual answers. So the like anyone yes, experienced enough knows that money or materialistic things can give you happiness for a short term, for a like in the first stages you will be like really happy, and also the materialistic things can give you much pleasure, temporary pleasure, and give you ease of life, but they can't give you like happiness of long term, because at the end of the day everyone knows that if they have like ease or something, but eventually with time they will be bored with the things that they have now. So yeah, money and the material things cannot give you happiness forever, and mainly you need to grow your spiritual things to become happy or something. And many one thinks that our worldly problems are mainly like people not getting enough food or poverty, etc. But the main problem of humanity, I think, many ones also think that okay, not like that. I should tell like that. There are many people, or almost all the ones who are um, experienced enough. They will say that they live to have happiness. Their main goal of life is having happiness and being happy all the time, or as much as time as they can. So yeah, that's the real thing of this world. If you are happy, you're happy. You can do whatever makes you feel happy, and the reason Quran is the answer for all the problem of this world, because it gives you happiness and tells you how to become happy in every circumstances of your life. Yeah, I guess that's it, and I really cannot express myself um, perfectly in English as I want to express myself. I can express that much, and I am also not good at like making or understanding thing or explaining myself in Bangla also. So yeah, I don't know what to say or how to say. Hmm. So yeah, I guess this is enough. And like really that videos of 800 MB that I have just done before. So yeah, I don't know how I will upload there. And if I like upload this type of big videos, I don't know what I want to do. And these kind of videos are like kind of like live stream or something, because like I'm just talking randomly. I think that would be better if it was live stream, but first of all, my phone is not that much powerful, and I don't have a good internet connection that can support or handle the live stream. So yeah, that's why I'm doing videos like this. And don't watch this video, they are not recommended for you, because I'm just talking like stupid or something, and seeing these videos will waste your time. So don't waste your time. That's one of the most valuable things that you have. I guess I shouldn't say anything. Also know what you want to want. I don't know what to say. Okay, bye.